And welcome back. It is Ray Michaels from Grassroots 50, Total News and Total News Nation Network. I'm here with Michael Brown. Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you, Ray? How are you today?
I'll tell you what, blessed and blessed. But you are in a profession where you are incredibly blessed because I understand that you fly around in helicopters photographing, videoing from high altitudes.
Oh, not high altitudes. I mean, we do that. Our main focus is large construction projects.
So tell me, what's the name of the company?
It's Visions, like the eyesight, Visions in Photography Inc. And I've been in business for about 28 years now.
So now you shoot on like a digital camera?
Digital camera, and we now have, with the advent of drone systems, we use a lot of drone systems, but we still use the helicopter platform for restricted areas like major airports. Okay, and the drones, we do a lot of video, commercial video, aerial video, and a combination of ground photos as well. So it's pretty diverse in what we do, and we have graphics capabilities and everything.
So it's still shots, videos, combination?
Combinations, right, yeah.
How did you get into this industry?
Well, that's a good question, and I can answer it by, I started in photography when I was in high school in Hawaii, and I was fortunate enough to fall in love with it.
Which island were you on?
Oahu, just outside of Honolulu.
Yeah.
Okay. Over by Pearl Harbor area.
Sure, yeah,
right?
Of course.
And my senior year in high school, when I started to get really interested in photography, black and white, okay, I was fortunate enough to enter, and my teacher entered my photos into a statewide competition in Hawaii. And I won first prize.
Wow.
And then those same images were sent to New York for a national competition for its black and white creative design.
Now, was this large format?
Beg your pardon?
Was it a larger format?
No, 35 millimeter.
Wow.
Yeah. And those photos took second nationally. So I had the bug in me. But I got into media sales and things and tried things. I modeled in LA, okay? And just photography was always my passion. So 28 years ago, I started my own company. And got into it. It was quite unique because I had to take a Dramamine when I was in the helicopter because back then we didn't have digital cameras.
Right.
And I had to change the rolls of film looking down, and I got a little airsick a few times.
Yeah.
But after a while I got used to it. And then the advent of digital cameras came around. I still have that camera in my archives.
Wow.
My first project that I did was the overchange at 101 and I-10, the overpass.
Yeah.
And I downloaded the images, I burned them on the CD, took them to the client, and they go, "What is this?" Because they're used to getting negatives in the proofs.
Right.
I said, "This is a new generation of photography." And they go, "What should I do with it?" I said, "You stick it in your computer." And so I see the evolution of digital cameras and also the evolution of clients of mine, large clients of mine, developing computer software, so they can do everything in-house.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah, many of the photographers were having trouble going from an SLR, single lens reflex, to a DSLR.
Right.
Because many did not want to go.
Right.
If they didn't transform into that new format, they were kind of left behind.
Yes.
Now, are you shoot on, because the two major ones, Nikon, Canon, what do you like?
I use a Nikon D4. They have the D5. It's a little bit wider frame on it, but what I have is more than adequate. What I need to do.
It's so funny because I've done a lot of events for, the digital photography, and you'll find once you go with one brand of camera, you can't really go back and forth because you have to buy lenses.
Exactly.
For all of it.
Exactly.
It's very, very expensive.
Exactly. You can't. All my lenses fit the Nikon.
Yeah, and they're not you can't put it on a
You can't
Canon.
put another camera.
No.
You have to buy that like a Canon lens.
All right, so to do aerial photography, though, obviously you have to have somebody that you work with that you ask them to take you up there, right? You're not the pilot.
I'm on
as
contract
well.
with helicopter companies. In the beginning, for over 20 years, well, even longer than that, I would personally fly to San Diego, personally fly to Las Vegas, personally fly to Los Angeles, San Francisco, Denver, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, New Mexico. A driver would pick me up, take me to the municipal airport where the helicopter is waiting, hop in. He's aware, the pilot knows the sites because I sent him site maps. So we plan everything out. We coordinate with the airports, okay, operations. And then we go fly, land. He takes me back to the airport, back on the plane, back to Phoenix.
Wow.
And I would download everything when I got back home. Sometimes I would spend the night, okay, like in Vegas. Okay, I was stranded here 12 times. And San Francisco, where my daughter lived, okay, now she's in New York, I would spend a weekend with her. But most times it was in and out, back, download the images, and have them, the files sent electronically through the computer to the clients, and they have it the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's now. Do they tell you, because when you're building something or you're watching something, you really have to have a route for the pilot, because you're focusing on filming, not saying, okay, turn right here.
No, I am.
Turn left
I'm
here.
directing also.
Are you?
I'm giving him the angles I want to be at, the altitude I want to be at. So it evolved into a lot of hand signals. Okay, this is like go forward, back up, and move your blades so it's out of my frame. So we got that. And my pilots loved it. I worked them pretty hard, and because there's time shooting 12, 20 plus projects in one photo flight.
Wow.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I guess you'd have to, because of the cost for the fuel and the
Exactly.
time.
You want to make it worth your while.
Right.
Exactly. Then we do a lot of commercial real estate as well. We work some of the biggest houses here, and we provide them a combination package, which is aerial video, aerial stills, and ground photos. We go in and shoot the front of the building, inside the building, with the package, and
So
they seem to like it.
how much has drone photography changed that whole dynamic from when you started?
Enormously.
Yeah.
Enormously. From a black and white medium to no longer use film. It's still available, but the advent of digital imagery is fantastic. You can get everything done. You can email the folder that same day to the client, and they download it, and they can send it off, copy it, and send it off to the rest of the team, so everybody sees what's going on.
And what about drone photography? That must have fundamentally changed everything.
It bothered me in the first couple of years. I was an advocate against it. Okay, but
because you weren't hanging out of
I wasn't hanging out of the helicopter as much as I should have been. Yeah. But as I adapted to it, and then the FAA changed rules, got very restricted, because in the beginning,
everybody was just flying.
yeah,
over.
they were flying. You've heard stories where they fly by airlines, taking off at airports.
Yeah.
You can't do that now. You get in serious trouble. And all drone operations all drones have to be registered now with the FAA. You have to be certified by the FAA. There's liability insurance now, things like that if you go commercial.
Right.
So it's a whole different ball of wax.
Now you've taken all these years of experience, right? Your personal, all the things that it took to do this, and you've put it together in some amazing books. Now take a look at this. Now you've put this together, Mr. B's Great Adventures Head into the Arizona Clouds.
That's my first book, and the second one is Headed to San Diego Clouds.
All right, so give us kind of a just an overview of what the books are about.
You bet. Thank you. Back in 2019, after all these years of flying and all the cities I've traveled all over the world, okay, it just dawned on me, said, Mike, you should write a children's book and share your exploits and create a sense of creativity for children to use their imaginations.
Right.
That's where Headed in the Clouds came into. And so I started looking into it. I started doing some due diligence. I found there was multitude of illustrators I was looking at. I found the one I wanted right here in Arizona.
Wow.
I was looking for someone who can depict the characters that I'm writing about, okay? And Nancy Troop is her name. And fortunately, we got together. I sold her. I didn't sell her on the idea. I shared the idea with her, and she fell in love with it. So I wrote the manuscripts and things, and she did the illustrations to go with it. Like in this book here, Head into San Diego Clouds, in the first part of the book, I'm teaching children how to navigate through an airport.
Wow.
In the same
Look at this. You got to see this. This is you right here, right? And
Well,
you're smiling. It looks just like you.
Yeah, fortunately, thank you.
Thank you for these books too. You signed them.
you
I
bet.
appreciate that.
No,
That's
share that
wonderful.
with your family.
You know, it's amazing because kids, they love. I mean, one of their passions is watching heavy equipment. I don't know why, but you
Oh, yeah.
put on heavy equipment moving Earth,
Oh, yes.
and the kids are fascinated.
Yes.
Same thing with airplanes and rockets and
Yes.
helicopters.
Of course.
They must absolutely love
When
this.
we were doing the expansion of schools, yeah, so the kids would run out and just be thrilled. I've taken clients up in a helicopter. That's like I documented nearly 60% of Las Vegas, all the casinos and things like that. And I would have clients. MGM was one of my biggest clients.
Wow.
They would go up and sit in the back of the helicopter and see their project.
Right.
But they would go on the entire photo flight with me. But when they got down, they got this huge smile on their faces and just,
It is.
I mean, yeah, they loved it. But to see their project live from that aerial perspective was very unique and just very rewarding. They loved
And
it.
if you've never been in a helicopter, we encourage that. And, you know, it's very, very popular in Hawaii where you
Oh, yeah,
where you were
tours.
raised.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I can remember I was in Halong Bay in Vietnam in an old Russian helicopter with the rivets moving back and forth,
Wow.
holding the aircraft
Yeah.
together. That was a lot of adventure, but it is fun to be over there and, you know, sailing over maybe a rainforest and all of a sudden the canopy drops and it's very exhilarating. Do you still get excited every time you go in a helicopter?
I believe it or not, I do. I do. And that's what the book came about, because not only was it the exploits of my, shooting actual work in a helicopter, shooting construction projects and that, but what Mother Nature offered me, it's been remarkable. I've seen migrating herds of elk coming across the border in northern Arizona. I've seen hawks, I've seen whales, I've seen dolphins, which is in the second book.
Wow.
I've had hawks fly by here locally and just stare at me. And they're in my first book.
Wow.
This hawk saying, "Hello, Mr. B." I mean, things like that. And I thought a combination of a realism of working in a helicopter, my office in the sky, okay, with Mr. Helicopter,
Right.
and with of all the things that Mother Nature presented to me,
Right.
which is extremely, people would just be awed at things I've seen. And my work, teaching them that, there is a business in photography in the air, okay? I thought it would make a fabulous children's book.
Wow.
And the lead catchphrase is, kids always remember to keep your head in the clouds. Okay,
That's awesome.
because dreams do come true.
They do.
Look, I'm 70 years old and I'm writing children's books. So I'm hoping not only an inspiration for children, but also to the parents out there also, because your dreams can come true if you do the initiative and believe in yourself.
Hey, listen, Moses didn't take his people out of Egypt until he was 80 years old.
Hey,
There you go.
yeah, there he goes.
All right, this is Michael Brown. He's got a couple of great books here. And how do we find these books?
They're on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
All right.
And then
And your website?
my website is MrBeesGreatAdventures.com.
So Mr. and then B apostrophe S. B,
right. And then my iTunes, my podcast episodes, where I take children all over the world. Okay, all over the world. I teach them children's attractions, historical information about the cities, and a place where the family can eat. And that's on iTunes.
Wow, that's amazing. Michael Brown, check it out. We thank you for joining us here. Grassroots 50, Total News, Total News Nation Network. I'm Ray Michaels, and until next time, see you real soon.